I want to talk about specifically how, through my research, how Netflix does it, because we did talk about collaborative filtering on a very like small scale, but how does Netflix do it? Because you imagine their utility matrix is going to be massive. So through my readings, I found a couple things out. So they actually do use a hybrid of content-based and collaborative filtering. So someone asked like, can you combine the two? Absolutely. So and this is, I gotta admit, this is something I read like about 2 years ago. So if they do something completely different, I don't know. But what they used to do was manually tag movies. And so that helped with their content-based approach. If you remember seeing, or if you're familiar with Netflix and they have these like categories, like emotional TV shows, documentaries, suspenseful TV shows, crime shows. And of course they have these because you watch Grey's Anatomy, like the ones that are similar. So what I read, at some point, they actually had people like watching content and tagging all of their stuff. So this actually gives it more features. Each of these tags actually ends up being like a feature that they can use as part of their content-based approach. So where the collaborative filtering comes in is instead of each of these being a single movie, it'll end up being a group of movies, basically based on like how they decided to group the movies together. So that's more along the lines of how they do the hybrid from what I've read. But on top of that, something else that Netflix does is they try and figure out your user patterns. And because through collaborative filtering, they found out user similarities. A single user can be represented by multiple user rows, if that makes sense. So for example, instead of user 1, 2, 3, 4, they could have ish at night on the weekdays, or ish on like all day Sunday, because like users might have very different viewing patterns depending on like the time of week, time of day, so on and so forth. So that's how I understand that they are applying this in their own way. I see a question. Are they still using user ratings on a scale or just thumbs up and thumbs down? From the last time I was on Netflix, they actually are now using thumbs up and thumbs down, I think, which basically can be it's pretty similar to this. So instead of it being, a 1 to 5 scale, a thumbs up and thumbs down can pretty much be a 0 to 1, right? 0 can be thumbs down, 1 can be thumbs up, and it just kind of like rescales this. So instead of all the predictions being, these are all numbers between 1 and 5. Instead of that, you can have your predictions being between 0 and 1. And then maybe they can do their recommendations slightly differently, say, okay, we'll only recommend things that are above like a 0.8, so on and so forth. So yeah.